Hello everyone, good evening. Happy Tuesday night, hope you're well. This is the first time I've done a behind closed doors game since lockdown with the floodlights, although that one's out as you can see, but well, not out, it's just been turned off. Because I wasn't actually at the Chelsea game at the end of last season away from home, but you were all missed. I know I've said that a lot, but especially in an atmosphere like this, which probably would have been quite a spicy one, to be honest. Norwich have won here 1-0, which is fantastic. It's the first time they've won back-to-back games since the final two games of the 2018-19 season, which of course doesn't help, given I kind of been trying to promise myself not to keep harking back to that. And I think this was everything you would have expected Norwich to face in terms of coming up against an Aitor Karanka Birmingham side who was kind of had a sort of mid-block from the start, but kind of got more defensively minded as the game wore on. There was kind of a bit just after half time where I thought, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive here and maybe build on what they've got, but no, they progressively worked their way back, which in fairness Norwich should take a lot of credit for, because they never really took their foot off Birmingham, and Birmingham didn't really have the ability to kind of get any control of the game themselves. So ultimately Norwich dictated it from start to finish. They created a decent enough stream of chances, I would say, most of them coming in the sort of second blocks of each half, which kind of suggested that Norwich were working Birmingham quite hard, and eventually they were getting the spaces that they needed to at the end of each sort of 45, maybe the last 15 minutes or so. I'd have to double check that, but that's certainly how it felt. And they had some really good chances as well. Certainly in the first half, I think Birmingham defended as you would expect, because there was like 10 men behind the ball, but they defended their box really well. They threw themselves in front of a lot of shots and actually protected near leverage really well. So he wasn't necessarily that exposed very often, and the passing lanes were cut down. There wasn't much space when I was playing in it, and all basically what Derby did, which is kind of one of the issues from what Derby did, and also to agree what Bournemouth did as well at Dean Court, which was kind of sort of suck the space out of Norwich and make life difficult for them. It's been shown as a bit of a blueprint for making life hard for Norwich, so you can understand why other teams will then try it. Although interestingly, I mean, Preston had some success here really pressing Norwich, so it'll be interesting if that dynamic changes, if maybe teams come here and start getting success pressing Norwich. But I suppose the good element so far is that Norwich have been pressed here and they drew, and we saw tonight that they can, I mean, they do still just leave gaps on the counter. There is still not enough of a shield in front of the back four, and that balance, I know this is going to sound really bad, it's not quite there, but maybe I'm just conditioned to think that actually I know that Premier League sides would cut that open, and these aren't Premier League sides that Norwich are facing. You know, they might face one or two really good sides, but most are going to probably either get lucky or fortunate or produce a real moment of quality on a good day. But in general, Championship sides don't have the quality to take advantage unless they get regular chances. And I suppose Derby were one of those sides that did get lucky, but they also had, England's record goal scorer to take a free kick in the 89th minute. So it all factors into it, doesn't it? But the goal came in the last 5 minutes, I think, or 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 87th minute, something like that. It was really late. Mario Vrancic scored it after good work. A point here that Norwich actually got the ball back through Lucas Rupp, who was outstanding. You should read my piece on The Athletic from the international break, actually, about the things Lucas had been doing well and how that was a blueprint for how he could be a really influential player going forwards. But that said, they were all based on a few assumptions. Tonight he was far better than that. I thought he was superb. He overran it a couple of times. He lost the ball once or twice, but actually more often than not he had the ability to win the ball back again. He had great dynamism. He used the ball really well. He was a real focal point to the sort of levels that we saw Moritz Leitner and Tom Treibel be, but actually probably with a bit more general directness and less maybe passing for the sake of it, dare I say it, which does have its elements, and that's what you did want to see, but there was probably a bit more progression at times from this side, albeit against a team that really had no interest for a lot of it, of sort of going toe to toe with Norwich. So, but great performance. He would have been my man of the match. Todd Cantwell got it from the Sky Sports crew, and Todd was heavily involved in everything tonight. All the best Norwich City chances, he was playing a part. Some of them fell to him at the end, where he probably just a little bit of lack of match sharpness, although to be fair, he did play against Huddersfield and he did play against Preston, so it's not like he hasn't featured at all since last season. But obviously it's been a bit it's obviously been in the public spotlight over recent weeks what has happened. So what I will say, it was great to see him, Emi Buendia both starting. Credit for Emi Buendia tracking 80 yards to chase the ball and then win it and track his man in the second half, which was good to see, although I think he was probably a little bit less careful with the ball when it was still 1-0 in the dying moments, and Birmingham did sort of really press in those last few minutes. Maybe they should have done it sooner, especially as they went down to 10 men. Before that, Adam Clayton, a kind of a soft yellow card, but I'd have probably given it to Adam Clayton for the fact that he was telling them all how well, telling all his teammates how well they were digging in at 0-0, and at one point saying, well, you know, we can nick it, which is like, well, that's great, but you know, is there not more you want to do? But that was always the game plan, and I don't really want, I'm mocking it, but I'm not criticising it, because any team plays how they want, and had they have nicked something at the end, then fair play. You know, you can win a game of football in lots of different ways, and Aitor Karanka has certainly won a lot of games of football as a manager. But you didn't win this one. Norwich did. Back-to-back wins, 10 points from their opening 6 games. There'll be some more analysis over at The Athletic after tonight. No fresh injury concerns. The real promising signs of Grant Hanley and Ben Gibson at centre-half, with a clean sheet. Albeit relatively little troubled, but they did win and organise things very well. It was nice being able to hear what they were doing. I think those two and Tim Krul are a great triangle to have at the back there for Norwich. Thought Ollie Skip struggled at times. It will be interesting how he got, because bearing in mind he hasn't played this level of games at first team football in succession. This is why he came to the Championship. So we're kind of getting beyond now the opening season momentum and enthusiasm, which is not meant patronisingly. It's just, you know, the novelty of it is there. So how is he going to dig in, and can he sustain his level? He's a young man, don't forget, who's not played this amount of football before, so you would expect a dip in his form. So the question is how far it dips, whether it recovers, how much it recovers by, and we want to maybe watch over the coming weeks in terms of whether Ollie keeps his level up, but also Alex Tetty's on the bench. You can quite easily dip Ollie out of a game to let Alex come in if the right game comes along. Norwich back in action, back here on Saturday against Wycombe Wanderers, who, as I said on the Ball podcast, look a little bit short of Championship standards, and will almost certainly be parking the bus on Saturday. We'll see how that one goes, but so far so good. I don't have many complaints from tonight. I think we're all aware that they are creating the chances. They're probably not taking them as well. And I was a little bit disappointed that maybe Jordan Hugo didn't quite hit the target with a few of his chances as I think he could have done. And Teemu looked a bit leggy and tight at the end. I think it was cramped, so hopefully that's not a bad one. But again, I think there'll be that rotation. And also Adam Ida, when he came on, had a few good moments, but was quite quiet. Just want to see a bit more from him. But that's the trial of these 3 strikers and Norwich working around them. Certainly more positive than negative from tonight, obviously, because Norwich City have won another game of football. I will see you during the week, and especially back here on Saturday. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Leave me a comment or message. Let me know anything I've missed off, and anything else you want to know. And I will see you at the weekend. Take care of yourselves.